Mr. Curry.
Now, I watched this clip about 20 times before we started recording. Walk us through what we're actually seeing on the screen before we even get to the comment. Because it's not a highlight reel. It's really not.
No, it's the exact opposite. The clip is from a game against the Sacramento Kings. This is the dark side. This is the price of that freedom. The clip shows Steph trying to move off the ball. He's not dribbling. He's just trying to run from the baseline to the wing.
So he's just a player trying to get open.
That's all. And the defender, I believe it was Keon Ellis in this specific instance, is essentially wearing Steph Curry like a jacket.
That's a vivid image.
It's wrestling. It's not basketball.
Yeah.
Steph tries to cut left. 2 hands are on his waist. He tries to cut right. He gets body checked. He tries to run around a screen, and he gets grabbed by the jersey. It looks less like a basketball play and more like a guy trying to escape a mugging in a phone booth.
And Steph, in the video, he looks frustrated.
He looks exhausted. I mean, truly exhausted. He's throwing his hands up. He's looking at the refs, pleading. And the caption on the video was something like, "The reality of guarding Steph." It was highlighting just how much physical contact is allowed off the ball.
Okay, so that's the video. It's circulating. It's getting millions of views. And then popping up in the comments section is a verified account, Caitlin Clark. The biggest phenomenon in women's basketball, maybe in all of sports right now.
The rookie sensation. The face of the WNBA. Absolutely.
And here's what she types, quote, "We want to see Steph make 12 threes a game. Stop grabbing him, please."
Stop grabbing him, please.
It's the please that gets me. It really is.
It's so polite. It's so Midwestern.
It is. It sounds like she's asking someone to pass the corn at dinner. Stop grabbing him, please. But the mission of this deep dive today is to explain why that polite little please is actually a loaded weapon. Because we have a stack of sources here, including transcripts from Steph, a deep statistical analysis of Caitlin's rookie year, and some very interesting social media detective work that suggests this isn't just a fan comment. This is a salvo. It's a shot in a war between what we're calling real basketball and what Steph calls desperation.
That's the central tension, isn't it? Is the product we are watching on the floor actually basketball? Or have we allowed it to devolve into a grappling match disguised as defense?
Right.
And are we about to see the two people most affected by this, Steph and CC team, up to fix it?
So let's start with that concept, real basketball. Because I think for a lot of people listening, defense is defense. If I hold you and you don't score, I did my job. Why is that controversial? I mean, isn't the point of defense to stop the ball going in the hoop by any means necessary?
It's a great question. And it's the old school mentality, right? But strictly speaking, yes, the goal is to prevent scoring.
Yeah.
But there is a line where strategy becomes obstruction. It's a fine line, but it's a real one. And to understand where that line is, we have to look at the incident that really sparked this whole conversation. It wasn't actually that Kings game clip. It was a game shortly after against the Charlotte Hornets.
And we have the transcript of the post-game interview here. This is a key piece of our source material.
It is. So the Hornets decided to employ a strategy called face guarding. Now, we need to define this because it's not just guarding someone closely. It's a whole different philosophy.
Right. Explain this to me like I'm 5. If I'm playing defense, I'm supposed to be between you and the basket. That's day one stuff.
Correct. In normal defense, you are in a triangle. You see the ball, you see your man, and you see the basket. You are helping, you are shifting, you're communicating, you are playing a team sport.
You're part of a 5-person unit.
Precisely. In face guarding, you break all those rules. You literally turn your back to the ball, you stare at the man's chest. Your entire universe becomes that player's jersey number. If he goes to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom.
So you don't even look at the game. You have no idea what's happening with the ball.
You ignore the game. You are removing yourself from the team concept entirely, just to make sure that one guy doesn't touch the ball. It's the annoying younger sibling strategy. I'm not touching you, while you're standing 2 inches from their nose.
And Steph, I mean, he usually handles this stuff pretty well. He's been dealing with it for a decade. But in this interview, he seemed different, a little bit on edge.
He was annoyed, and Steph is the most diplomatic superstar in history. He never complains, never. But he was asked about the Hornet strategy, and he started by saying it was flattering. You know, the usual media training answer.
The canned response, it shows respect.
Yep. But then the mask slipped a bit. It did. He pivoted. He said there's a part of him that fights it because, and I'm quoting directly from the transcript, it's not real basketball.
Not real basketball. That is a heavy phrase coming from him. What does he mean by that? Is he saying it's illegal, or is he saying it's just ugly?
I think he means both. He's arguing that basketball at its core is a game of skill, flow, and strategy. It's about creating an advantage through movement and ball handling. When a defense resorts to just holding, grabbing, and refusing to even look at the ball, it ceases to be a strategy of skill.
It's just brute force.
It becomes what he called desperation masked as physicality.
Desperation masked as physicality. That's a bar. That should be on a T-shirt.
It's profound. He's saying, you can't stop me with your feet, you can't stop me with your brain, so your only resort is to stop me with friction. You are going to stop me by physically impeding my freedom of movement. And to Steph, that violates the spirit of the game.
There was that one specific moment in the Hornets game that the sources highlighted. It sounded absolutely hilarious. Steph just stopped playing.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is classic passive-aggressive Steph. So the defender, I think it was Vasilije Micic, is face guarding him 90 feet from the basket.
90 feet, so in the backcourt.
Deep in the backcourt. The play is happening on the other end of the floor, and Steph just stops.
He just stood there.
He stood there, hands on hips, 80 feet away from the action. He didn't run the offense. He didn't cut. He just wanted to see, is this guy really going to stand here next to me while his team is playing 4-on-4 on the other side of the court?
And did he?
He did. They stood there together like a couple waiting for a bus. It was absurd. Steph said later, I stayed back a long time on purpose just to see how long he would stay with me. He was mocking the strategy.
He's making it a spectacle.
Yes. He was showing everyone in the arena, look at this. This isn't basketball. This is a joke.
But here is the devil's advocate argument, and I know the old school fans are screaming this right now. If it works, isn't it good strategy? If I hold Steph Curry to 15 points by hugging him for 48 minutes, didn't I win the tactical battle? Why should the defense care about being pretty?
And look, if you're the coach of the Hornets, maybe. In a vacuum, yes, you do what it takes to win that one game. But here is the bigger question that the league has to ask itself. What is the NBA selling?
Entertainment.
Precisely. You and I, we don't buy a ticket to watch a holding penalty. We don't tune in on a Tuesday night to watch Vasilije Micic stand still in the backcourt.
No.
We pay to see the Splash Brother.
Yeah.
We pay to see the 30-footer. We pay to see excellence, not obstruction.
So you're saying there's a fundamental misalignment between winning at all costs and the product.
A huge misalignment. And the NBA knows this. This isn't a new problem. This is why, historically, they changed the rules. Back in the 90s, the game was a wrestling match. You could hand check, you could forearm shiver. The scores were 78-74.
The bad boy Pistons era.
Exactly. It was tough, sure, but it was like watching paint dry in a mud pit. And guess what?
Yeah.
Ratings dropped.
People got bored.
People got bored. So in 2004, the NBA outlawed hand checking. They opened up the floor. And that rule change is what allowed this entire generation to exist. It allowed Steph Curry to exist. It allowed Steve Nash to exist before him. It emphasized skill over brute strength. Steph is warning us that we are sliding back, that desperation is creeping back in, and it's ruining the aesthetic of the game he helped build.
Which brings us full circle back to Caitlin Clark, because when she is scrolling through her Instagram feed and she sees that video of Steph getting mauled, she isn't just seeing Steph, is she?
No, not at all. She's looking in a mirror.
This is the crucial connection, because I think a lot of people saw her comment and thought, oh, she's just being a fan of her favorite player. But your analysis, based on these sources, suggests this was actually a very calculated PR move.
Calculated and absolutely brilliant. Think about her position. She is a rookie in the WNBA. She has just gone through the most physically brutal season we have arguably ever seen for a guard. She has been battered, held, pushed, and checked.
We all saw the clips.
We did. But
yeah,
if she complains about it, what happens?
She gets roasted immediately.
Yeah, immediately. Oh, welcome to the pros, princess. The WNBA is tough. Get used to it. Stop whining. We saw that narrative all year long. Veterans, pundits, Twitter trolls, everyone was waiting for her to crack so they could call her soft.
So she can't say, stop grabbing me.
She cannot say that.
Yeah.
She gets fined by the league, and she gets labeled a whiner by the public. But if she defends Steph Curry.
Ah, okay, I see where this is going.
Steph Curry is a 4-time champion, 2-time MVP, the unanimous greatest shooter of all time. Nobody in their right mind calls Steph Curry soft. So when Caitlin says, stop grabbing him, she is validating her own experience by proxy.
It's a deflection shield. It's ingenious.
It's 4D chess. She is pointing at the screen and saying, look, it's happening to the best player in the world too. It's not just me being a rookie. This is a systemic problem in the sport of basketball. She's saying, fix it for him, knowing full well that if they fix the culture of grabbing for Steph, they have to fix it for her.
That is fascinating. It's like she's unionizing with Steph, founding members of the Shooters Union.
The Shooters Union, I like that. And honestly, she has a better case than anyone because when we look at the data from her rookie season, I mean, we use the term face guarding for Steph. What Caitlin faced was it was something else entirely. It was a different category of defense.
The sources use the term blitz a lot.
But blitz.
Now, again, for the non-expert listening, is a blitz just a double team? Or is it more than that?
It's a specific type of double team, and it's much more aggressive. A normal double team is you catch the ball in the post, another guy comes over to help contain you. A blitz is aggressive. It's violent. It happens on the pick and roll, usually near half court. As soon as Caitlin comes off a screen, two defenders jump out at her.
They trap her.
They trap her high and hard. They force the ball out of her hands immediately. The goal isn't even to make her take a bad shot. The goal is to make sure she doesn't take a shot at all, to make someone else on her team beat you.
And the stats on this are blowing my mind. I'm looking at the chart here from one of the analyses.
It's unprecedented. It really is. In her rookie season, Caitlin Clark was blitzed more in the first 10 games than any other team was blitzed in that same span.
Wait. You have to say that again. Not more than any other player. You're saying she, as an individual, was blitzed more than entire teams.
Correct. If you took all the blitzes the Las Vegas Aces, the defending champions, faced as a team, Caitlin faced more by herself. The volume of defensive pressure was hysterical. It was panic.
Desperation, to use Steph's word again.
Pure desperation. Coaches were terrified of her range. They saw her pull up from the logo in college and just short-circuited. So the strategy became beat her up, pick her up full court, bump her on every cut, hold her going through screens, make her life miserable for 94 feet.
There's a section in the notes here about the Jordan rules. For the younger listeners, the Jordan rules were what the Detroit Pistons used against Michael Jordan in the late 80s. And the rule was basically, if he goes to the hoop, knock him down.
Make him feel you. That was the motto. Don't let him land. And we saw the Caitlin rules in full effect this year. But here's where the WNBA finds itself in a really tricky, almost paradoxical spot. Yeah. Because the league, they've sort of leaned into this, haven't they? They've encouraged it.
They have. You see the marketing, you see the slogans. We are the most physical league in the world. WNBA, tough.
All right. It's what one of our sources calls the badge of honor fallacy. You hear from the old school players and some commentators. They don't call ticky-tack fouls here. If you want to score on the W, you got to earn it. They wear the bruises like a badge of honor.
But is it a badge of honor, or is it just a bad product? Is it holding the league back?
That is the question of the hour. That's the billion-dollar question. Steph is raising it in the NBA, and CeCe is echoing it in the WNBA. Is allowing a defender to maul a 150-pound guard toughness? Or is it just bad officiating that lets defenders get away with things that are, by the rule book, fouls?
It reminds me of the NFL in the 70s. You could just clothesline a receiver going over the middle. It's tough, sure. But the game is infinitely better now that guys can actually run routes and catch the ball.
It's the exact same evolution. The source material makes a really strong argument here. It says that the WNBA's obsession with physicality is actually a symptom of insecurity. They are afraid that if they start calling the game tighter, people will say the league is soft. But in reality, allowing the mugging stifles the very talent that is attracting millions of new fans.
People aren't tuning in to see Caitlin Clark get put in a headlock. They're tuning in to see the logo 3.
And when you allow the headlock, you kill the 3. You kill the excitement. There was this one moment from a broadcast, we're calling it the Oprah moment in our notes, that perfectly encapsulates this entire problem. It was a game being called by Rebecca Lobo.
Oh, the Rebecca Lobo call. I remember this. She was getting so frustrated on air, you could hear it in her voice.
She's a legend, a Hall of Famer. She knows the game inside and out. And she's watching a Fever game. And she just starts listing the uncalled fouls in real time on a single possession as Caitlin is trying to get open.
It was like she got hit there, she got held there, that's a push-off.
And there's a foul. And there's a foul. And there's another foul. It was literally Oprah giving away cars. You get a foul, and you get a foul. Everybody gets a foul. But the whistle.
Silence.
Dead silent. And that silence is what Caitlin is attacking with her comment about Steph. When she says, stop grabbing him, she's really saying, blow the whistle. Because if you call the fouls, the holding stops. If the holding stops, the movement starts. And if the movement starts,
The show begins.
And right now, the WNBA is in many ways suppressing its own show in the name of being tough.
It's not just Caitlin, though. I think it's really important to note because the critics will immediately say, oh, everything is about Caitlin. But the sources list a bunch of other people in the league who are fed up with this.
Oh, it is a league-wide complaint from the skill players. Kelsey Plum has talked about it at length. She gets beat up constantly on the perimeter. Becky Hammon, who is one of the best coaches in the world, period, has talked about it. Natalie Nakasi, another coach. The perimeter contact is out of control. It's almost as if the rule book is different for guards in the WNBA compared to the NBA.
And there is a really interesting paradox mentioned in our notes about Stephanie White. Now, she is the new coach for the Indiana Fever, so she is CC's coach now. But last year, she was coaching the Connecticut Sun.
Ah, the Stephanie White paradox. This is fascinating. So the Connecticut Sun are known for being incredibly physical. They are a defensive juggernaut. Alyssa Thomas, Deidre Carrington, they are tough physical defenders. And when they played the Fever last year, they beat CC out. I mean, they were draped all over her. It was a clear and effective strategy.
Right. So Stephanie White deployed the weapon. She used the desperation tactics to her advantage.
She deployed the weapon because it's effective and the refs allow it. If the speed limit is 85 miles an hour, you drive 85. You'd be foolish not to. But, and here's the twist, she also went on record in that same season admitting that, quote, too much contact is allowed on the perimeter across the league.
Wow. So she's saying, I'm going to use this broken rule to win, but I'm also telling you the rule is broken.
Exactly. It's pragmatic.
Yeah.
As a coach, your job is to win within the rules as they are enforced. If the refs are going to let you hold Caitlin Clark, you hold Caitlin Clark. But as a steward of the game, she recognizes that it's probably too much. She knows it's ugly basketball.
And now that she's coaching Caitlin.
Ha, the turntables. I guarantee you, from the first tip-off next season, Stephanie White is going to be in the referee's ears every single dead ball. Protect the shooter, freedom of movement, watch the grabbing. It's going to be a total 180, but she's right in both instances. She's playing the hand she's dealt.
So we've established the problem, the real basketball debate, the physicality crisis, the suppressed talent. But the most exciting part of this deep dive isn't the problem, it's the potential solution.
The solution, yes.
Because if you are Caitlin Clark, and you know the league is physical, and you know the refs might not bail you out, what do? You can complain. Or you can level up.
You can build a weapon that works even when you are being held. You can become immune to the problem.
And this leads us to the rumors, the secret training camp. Because there is some very compelling evidence, we're talking forensic-level social media analysis here, that Caitlin Clark isn't just commenting on Steph Curry's Instagram. She might be training in his gym.
This is the part of the story that should terrify every other team in the WNBA. It should keep them up at night.
Let's break down the evidence for the listener. Exhibit A in the file, the shooting coach.
Right. So we are talking about Brandon Payne, or at least someone within his immediate circle. This is Steph Curry's personal trainer. This is the man who engineered the mechanics of the greatest shooter in history.
This isn't just a guy who rebounds the ball for Steph. This is a biomechanics expert, a neuroscientist, basically.
He's a scientist, absolutely.
Yeah.
He works on neuromuscular efficiency. He's the guy who invented those insane drills with strobe glasses and sensory deprivation balls. And recently, he's been posting a lot of Caitlin Clark content on his social media.
Just reposting highlights?
No, that's the key. It's not just reposting highlights like a fan. It's analytical. He's analyzing her mechanics, posting clips that suggest a level of deep familiarity. It's the kind of activity you see when a trainer is proud of a client or when they're courting a new high-profile client. It's smoke, a lot of smoke.
Okay, so there's smoke. But Exhibit B. Exhibit B feels like a 5-alarm fire.
Exhibit B is the shoes.
Talk to me about the shoes. Because to a non-sneakerhead, this might seem irrelevant. Oh, he wore her shoes. Who cares? Why is this such a big deal?
It is a massive deal in the world of athlete endorsements and brand warfare. Steph Curry is the face of Under Armour. He basically is Under Armour basketball. He has his own brand, the Curry brand. He has a lifetime contract worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right, he's locked in.
Caitlin Clark is a Nike athlete. She just signed a massive deal with Nike. In the corporate world, these two are Hatfields and McCoys. They are Coke and Pepsi. They are Apple and Microsoft. You do not cross the streams.
So for Steph Curry to step out in public, on camera, wearing Caitlin Clark's signature Nike shoes.
And not just any Nikes. He was wearing her player-exclusive PEs, the Kobe 6s customized specifically for her. That is a deliberate, calculated breach of brand protocol. He is essentially telling Under Armour and the world, I don't care about the logo right now. I am showing respect to her.
That is huge. You don't just accidentally put on the wrong shoes when you have a $100 million contract on the line.
Never. It's a diplomatic signal. It says, I see you, I respect you. But when you combine it with a trainer connection, the inference is much, much stronger. The rumor, and again, we have to call it a rumor because there's no official confirmation, is that Caitlin Clark is working out with Steph's team during this offseason.
If that is true, let's just pause and speculate on the basketball implications. Because Caitlin is already great. She just had the greatest statistical rookie season in the history of the league. What can she possibly learn from Steph?
Everything.
Really? I mean, she already has the range. She shoots from the logo. She has the step back. What's left?
It's not about the shot itself. It's about how you get the shot. Remember the video we started with? The holding, the grabbing.
The phone booth mugging?
Right. Steph has spent 15 years mastering the art of getting open despite the mugging. And the secret isn't strength. It's conditioning and off-ball movement. We call it the ghost.
The ghost.
Steph is a ghost on the court. He passes the ball, and then he vanishes. He sprints to the corner, cuts through the paint, uses a screen, fakes a cut, loops back. He runs a marathon every single game, literally miles and miles, just to get open for split seconds.
And Caitlin, her game is different right now.
Caitlin is currently very ball dominant, which is great. She's an amazing creator. She has the ball in her hands a lot. She creates off the dribble, but that's exhausting, and it makes it much easier to blitz and double team her.
Because you know where she is.
You know exactly where she is. She has the ball.
Yeah.
But if she learns Steph's conditioning, if she learns to run defenders into screens until their legs give out and their lungs are on fire,
She becomes dangerous even without the ball.
she becomes unguardable. Because you can't blitz a player who doesn't have the ball yet. If she catches it on the move with her feet already set, coming off a pin-down screen, it's over. The defense is dead before the ball even leaves her hands.
And that answers the physicality problem, doesn't it? It's a workaround.
It is. You defeat the holding, not by being stronger, but by being relentless. You make the defender chase you until they're too tired to hold you anymore.
It's the rope-a-dope, but with cardio.
Precisely. And Steph is the Muhammad Ali of that strategy.
Right.
If he transfers that knowledge, that workout regimen, to Caitlin, she levels up from all-star to cheat code.
There's also the mentorship angle here. It feels, I don't know, almost mythological. The old master and the young prodigy.
It's very Star Wars. It's Jedi and Padawan. But it makes so much sense. Steph has been very vocal for years about wanting strong role models for his daughters. He's a huge champion of the women's game. But more than that, I think he sees a kindred spirit.
How so?
They are both anomalies. They are outliers. They aren't 6'8". They don't have a 40-inch vertical. They aren't overpowering people with muscle. They conquered the sport by stretching the geometry of the court. From the logo wasn't a strategic concept until Steph made it one. Now Caitlin is the only other person on earth who plays that way.
So helping her succeed is, in a way, validating his own legacy.
Exactly. If she succeeds on a championship level, his style of basketball succeeds. Real basketball skill, shooting, spacing wins over the desperation of grabbing and holding. It proves the philosophy.
It also speaks volumes about Caitlin's mindset. I mean, she could have gone to Cabo. She could have just chilled for a few months. She's rich. She's famous. She broke all the records.
She could have taken a victory lap, and no one would have blamed her. But she's not. She's going straight to the lab. She knows that next year, the target on her back will be even bigger. She knows teams are going to try to blitz her even harder, so she's seeking out the one person on the planet who knows how to solve that specific problem.
It's a competitive drive, that is. Well, it's Jordan-esque. It's Kobe-esque. It's that tier.
It is. It's scary for the rest of the league.
Speaking of next year, we have to pivot to the elephant in the room. Or maybe, based on our notes, the dog in the room.
The dog, my favorite part.
But first, the context for the listener. There is a dark cloud hanging over the WNBA right now. The players opted out of the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement.
Which means they can, and likely will, renegotiate the entire contract that governs the league.
Right. And there are rumors of a lockout. The players want more money. They want charter flights, better benefits. The owners are crunching the numbers. It's a very tense situation.
It's the business side of the real basketball debate. The players feel they are underpaid relative to the massive new revenue they are generating. And they are right. But these negotiations can get ugly. We've seen other sports lose entire seasons to lockouts before.
So everyone in the WNBA world is holding their breath. Will there be a season next year? And then we get an update from the dog.
This is my favorite piece of insider info from the entire stack. It's so absurd, but it's so revealing.
Tell the listener about the dog.
Okay, so Elijah Surratt is a wide receiver for Indiana football, a local college star. He gets a new puppy, and he decides to name the dog Caitlin Clark.
Which, honestly, is a strong name for a dog. A very good dog name.
It's a power move. Caitlin, sit. Caitlin, fetch. So he posts this on social media. It's a cute picture of the puppy. It goes a little bit viral.
And the real Caitlin Clark sees it.
She sees it. And she comments. And this is the key. She writes, "Both the player and the dog are welcome courtside this year."
This year.
Those two words are doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
She didn't say hopefully. She didn't say if we play. She didn't say hope to see you soon.
No conditional tense, no hesitation, no ambiguity. Welcome courtside this year.
The sources are calling this a casual confirmation, a soft launch of the next WNBA season.
It is reading between the lines, sure, but you have to think about who is saying it. Caitlin Clark is media trained to within an inch of her life. She is very careful with her words. If she thought there was a genuine risk of a lockout, if the union reps were telling her, hey, prepare for a long winter, she would be vague.
Right, she'd say something non-committal.
Exactly. But this year implies she knows something. Or rather, she controls something.
That's the key. She controls the leverage. We have to talk about what our sources call the Caitlin economy. The numbers are just staggering.
Her rookie season caused attendance to double across the league, not just for Indiana, for everyone. Teams that played in 5,000-seat arenas were moving games to 20,000-seat NBA arenas just to fit the demand for her.
And the TV ratings?
Shattered. The viewership records were shattered by multiples. We went from games getting a few 100,000 viewers to getting millions. Sponsors who ignored the WNBA for 25 years are suddenly knocking down the door with bags of cash.
She is the golden goose.
She is the entire farm. She's the goose, the golden eggs, all of it. And the owners know this. The players know this. And Caitlin knows this. The idea that the league would lock out the players now, just as the money printer's starting to whir, it would be financial suicide. It would be malpractice.
You don't close the store on Black Friday.
Exactly. You don't shut down the factory right after you invented the iPhone. So when Caitlin says this year, she is speaking with the confidence of someone who knows she is the engine of the revenue that will pay for everyone's raises. Her optimism carries the weight of $1 billion valuation.
She actually spoke about this more formally, too, right? It wasn't just the dog comment.
Yes. At the USA basketball camp, she was asked about it directly, and her comments there were incredibly mature for a 22-year-old. She called the negotiations the most important moment in WNBA history, which is true. This is their chance to reset the league's economics. But she also said, we need to fight for what we believe in, but be willing to compromise.
Compromise. That's a really interesting word for a union member to use publicly during a negotiation.
It is. Usually you hear fight, demand, hold the line. Compromise shows she is a pragmatist. She understands that a deal needs to get done so the game can grow. She knows that her leverage works best when she is on the court hitting threes, not standing on a picket line holding a sign.
She wants to play.
She wants to play. She wants the revenue to flow so everyone can get paid more. It's a level of business maturity that, again, reminds you of Steph. He's always been very good at navigating the business of the NBA, partnering with the league while also pushing for player power.
It's that face of the league responsibility. You can't just think about yourself. You have to be the adult in the room.
And Cece seems to grasp that intuitively. She's not trying to burn it down. She's trying to build it up.
So let's try to pull all these threads together. Because we started with a tiny 13-word comment on Instagram, "Stop grabbing him, please."
Which led us to a philosophical war over the soul of basketball. Skill versus force. Beauty versus desperation.
Which connected us to the brutal reality of Cece's life in the WNBA, the blitzing, the holding, the uncalled Oprah fouls.
Which then hinted at the most exciting possible solution, a secret partnership with the greatest shooter ever to refine her game and make her unguardable, regardless of the grabbing.
And finally, the confidence that we will see this new and improved Cece on the court this year, a confidence so high it was casually confirmed via a comment about a puppy.
It's a perfect storm. It really is. You have the greatest shooter ever, mentoring the greatest female shooter ever. They are united by a shared philosophy that the game should be beautiful, not brutal. And they are both applying pressure, Steph, on the culture of basketball and Cece on the economics of her league to make sure the stage is set for that beauty to shine.
It really does feel like we are on the precipice of a new era. We had the physical era of the WNBA, the rough and tumble years. Are we entering the shooters era?
I think we are. And I think the resistance we see, the face guarding, the holding, the toughness rhetoric, is the last gasp of the old guard. They are trying to hold back the tide with their hands. But when the Tide is shooting 40% from 30 feet, and when the Tide is training with Steph Curry in the offseason, you can't hold it back forever.
And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave with you, the listener. We've talked about how the NBA changed its rules in 2004 to protect stars and encourage scoring, and as a result, the league exploded globally.
It became a global phenomenon. It changed everything.
So the question is this. If the WNBA listens to Steph and CC, if they clean up the grabbing, if they protect the shooters, if they legislate the fake toughness out of the game, does the league lose its identity? Does it lose its grit? Or does it finally unlock its true potential and explode in the same way?
That is the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? Is the roughness a feature that makes the league distinct or a bug that's holding it back? I think Steph and Caitlin have made their vote clear. They are voting for skill. Now we just have to see if the league and the officials follow suit.
We'll be watching. And hopefully, so will Elijah's dog.
Thanks for listening. Catch you next time.